Welcome. It is episode 11. It is episode 11 of the Generation X Retro Gaming Club. Ladies and gentlemen, solicitations, greetings, gaming elders, one and all. I hope you're well. Welcome, chat. Welcome. I hope your gaming week was good, is good, has been good, will be good. Big thank you for joining me, Clive Illenden. I can't even say my own name. Who put something in my coffee today? 1 second.
It's one of his energy drinks. Too many.
Yeah, coffee. Apparently it's me, Clive Illenden, aka Lord Kensal, and
me, Rokk, not Lord Kensal.
Not Lord Kensal, no. I hope we're coming across okay. I hope you can hear us nice and clearly. Let us know in the chat, just to be sure. As ever,
hear us perfectly, Clive.
A packed show full of interest, curios, and much gaming delight. It's your cue, Adam. It's in the script.
Oh, it's my cue.
It's in the script.
Yes.
I've given you a line.
Yes. We will be watering. What is it? I don't know. Be Rokk.
Let's go back. Come on, we're a professional outfit.
Yes.
I'll do the line. Feed him the line again like a professional.
Go on then, feed it.
Here we go.
Feed me the line.
As ever, we have a packed show full of interest, curios, and much gaming delight.
Yes. We will be wandering the lanes of gaming past and new, and bringing our more, shall we say, mature perspective to gaming.
Brilliant. We have another quality street of gaming for you. Just don't leave the green triangle until last, of course. In a packed show tonight, we have all the gaming news from around the world on this day in gaming history, 64K of gaming memories, or the Generation X game, and much, much more. But first, Adam, are you over there? And just look at my camera. There you are. Yes. Adam?
Yes.
What was I going to say? Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
What games have you been playing this week, Adam? Please let us and the chat know.
It's contagious, mate, isn't it? Well, Clive, listen, last week I said I was playing The Last of Us 2 and I wasn't that impressed with it. But I've flip-flopped, mate. I've totally flipped. I've flipped head over heels in love with The Last of Us 2. It's just encaptured me. I haven't finished it yet, but I reckon I'm about 10 minutes away from the end, literally that close. And I thought I'd leave the last bit till after the show and savor it. But wow, it's knocked me out. And I don't want to give any spoilers away, but honestly, if you play this game, it just, you go along all of a sudden and it flips you and you think, wow, this is amazing.
Okay. So without spoilers and stuff, so you were quite down on it, if I'm honest.
I was.
Last week. But I've seen your tweet and we talked about it. So it's quite a flip-flop on it. What sort of caused that flip-flop in you on this game?
So initially, it felt like it was just a grind. We're just going from place to place, collecting stuff, dispatching those clicker things, which was kind of, to me, it was just basically the same as the first game. And then they did stuff with the characters and the narrative that was just, I'm hesitating to say it, but it felt unique in any game that I'd ever played. And I've sort of talked about it in other places, but I really don't want to spoil it for our select crew in the chat. But needless to say, it just blew me. And I've been playing it. I think I'm up to about 30 hours on the game now. And I know some people have got through it at 20 hours, but I've wanted to explore and fully take everything in. And it really is a great story. It's beautifully written. It's one of the most intelligent and adult in the grown-up mental state rather than the physical state, but there's some of that in there as well.
Yeah.
Of a game that I've played in a long time. I think probably since Horizon Zero Dawn, which ironically I bought again this week for PC. It comes out in August. And as people may know, it's certainly up there, top 2 games of all time for me.
Yeah.
And I saw the I saw the trailers for what they've done for it on PC, and it blew me away. The graphics are stunning. They were amazing.
So they enhanced the
anyway.
graphics on it.
So they've just that, and the other game which I also bought, which I've also played, Death Stranding. Again, that comes out next week. I think it comes out on the 14th
on PC.
And yeah, and they've done stuff graphically with both games that, for me, as a lover of both titles, I'm quite happy to experience both of those games again, and then to have the added advantage of that ultra level graphic quality. So, looking forward to those, mate.
Any other games?
Oh, you name it. I mean, I played West of Loathing, which I know I know you've enjoyed. It's badly named. It's West of Happiness. It's an amazing game. It's great fun. And I've played some more Blair Witch. I played a load of Crater, particularly on Saturday when it was Andy Morph's Crater 48. You're all right, mate. You got a headache there?
It's Crater. So I'm having flashbacks. They're like Vietnam flashbacks.
Touched a raw nerve. Sorry, mate. Oh, look, poor old Clive. He's touched a raw nerve, chat.
Yeah.
So what have you been playing, Clive?
Okay, so as many people may well know, I've been playing Monster Boy, which I really enjoy. Really old school platformer. And of course, if anybody watches my streams, I do all the voices. And there are a lot of characters.
Do you do the little pig?
I do them all. I do even think I don't even know what is a little cute sort of kawaii character in there. Don't even know what it is, but I do all the voices. But it's hard because I don't know how many characters there are, and so I have to invent a new voice for each character, and then I lose track of who's bloody talking, and it gets very confusing. But yeah, my streams, I always try to give voice. In fact, if you watch my West of Loathing stream, I do a variety of American West, Midwest accents, I'd like to think, and Southern. Voices. I do a Southern gal. What I do declare, that kind of thing.
What, from Devon, you mean?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Midwest, Matt boy.
Bristol,
Texas. Why don't rattling no, boy? That kind of thing.
See, I'd have to do it in Devon, Cornish, Dorset, and Bristol. That would be my Western voices.
All the voices.
Yeah.
And of course, I've been playing Assassin's Creed, which continue to just drop into now and then and do a few bits. You know, I love it. At the more just the detail in it. I think the amount of work that's gone into a game like that. It's just, you know, those games. It's just amazing. And I played Hyperscape, the new free-to-play battle royale from Ubisoft. I can't say I played it very well. I think I need a few goes at it. I didn't find it quite as instinctive as, say, Apex Legends, where you just sort of you pick a character, you learn their sort of skills and abilities, and then off you go, and it's a fairly familiar, fast-paced battle royale type thing. Hyperscape, although it's quite simple, I wasn't quite sure what I was meant to be doing initially, how you use the power-ups and when, and all that kind of stuff. But I can see what they're trying to do. I think they've done a better job at trying to create a sort of a battle royale type Twitch style game, as it were, in terms of, any battle royale is popular on streaming sites, like, oddly enough, the Amazon's Crucible. But whereas Crucible, I always looked at that, and the demo that you did on that looked like a horse designed by committee, so a camel. That idea, a camel is a horse designed by committee. I think Ubisoft is slightly more successful. I'll give it some time though to see how that goes.
They've pulled Crucible, haven't they? Or they've pushed it back down to beta or something.
I think they've taken it off, and they're going to do some work on it. But it just looked like they just threw in all the ideas without any kind of editorial cohesiveness in it. A bit of this, bit of that, and that's fine. Good. Apex has that. The way Apex worked, though, is they looked around and said, let's take all the good bits and hone it into a structure that works and delivered a game that hit the ground running. Literally, you hit the ground running and you don't get any fall damage. I mean, literally hit the ground running. And Hyperscape is I don't think they've achieved it quite as well as Apex did, but it's pretty good. And I think with more practice, when it comes to console, I'll be more comfortable because I was playing it on PC. I don't like to put games on my PC. A bit snobbish like that. Kids ask me to download Minecraft on it. Now I've got this supercomputer thing, and I'm going, really? Can't you just play it on the console? I don't want to put a PC game on my PC.
But it's got ray tracing now.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure I have. But there we go. So yeah, and of course, I just want to share this for those that missed it. Had a bit of PUBG, and I found the only way to play PUBG is this way. I just love sharing this. Come on. Meanwhile.
My belly, because I'm going to a house to get some guns and things to protect me. That's why. because I might get shot, and I need to shoot them back with the bang bang. There are no guns here. That's not fair.
Oh, so cute.
And I'm gonna have to run further away to the house. That's much further away from where I'm meant to be going. The big blue cloud's gonna come and get me, and I don't like it.
Oh, it's so cute.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with a man in a tuxedo, a lizard's head, and a baby's voice. I mean, you can only imagine.
I think I'm having a breakdown.
Night, can't you? You can only imagine what Clive's dreams entail.
Anyway, yeah, very amusing. So that's the games chat. Let us know what you've been playing, what games you've been playing, and all that kind of stuff. Exactly. Where's your bang bang, David Hanley? Yeah, and the big blue cloud going to get me. I need my bang bang. That's what I said. And Mr. Boaty, wait for me, Mr. Boaty. Anyway, serious note, we're a serious gaming podcast here for older, mature gamers, apparently. So let's all grow up a bit here. Come along. I posted this on the Gamers Over 30 Facebook page. We've got to represent and be sensible. So let us know in the chat what games you've been playing and stuff, as we will go to the news. Because, as I say, so here is the news for this week. And this wouldn't be the Generation X Retro Gaming Club if I didn't try and fit in a Pac-Man story or item somewhere. So here we go. Apparently, they've designed Pac-Man for use with the HoloLens. A HoloLens.
Yeah, Hodown.
Not a Homo lens, no, a HoloLens. Yeah. I know you'd be inclusive.
I didn't say that.
Well, we've already discussed the sexuality of Clyde on here. He refers to be known as they because he's also Sue. We've all established that. So that would be cool. So a couple of weird things, funny things here is the CEO of Bandai Namco is not known as the CEO. He's known as the Chief Pac-Man Officer.
Oh, really?
That's his title. Chief Pac-Man Officer, Yasuo Miyakawa. It was in an interview here. Look, here he is. I don't know if you can see him. He's got his little Pac-Man jumper on.
Yeah.
Which I just think is really nice. But he demonstrates, so this is just an interview with them. And for Stadia fans out there, he does mention Stadia actually down here in a kind of the popularity of mobile gaming and playing games on your mobile context. But that's not what I'm talking about here. This is sort of special invitation talk that he did called Collision at Home, where they don't need to see that bit actually, where they invite sort of high profile people from companies and stuff and to have conversations and do presentations in a sort of web summit thing. Anyway, he demonstrated Pac-Man working with the HoloLens, whatever it's called. Is it a HoloLens?
Hollow, yeah, as in
Hollow, yeah, the HoloLens. Yeah, which I just thought was quite interesting. They don't have any video of it, but it's the first showing of Pac-Man using HoloLens 2. And there was a VR version of Pac-Man as well, apparently, released in '96. And they've done versions on other, like the Oculus Quest and stuff like that, I think. But they also do a version of Pac-Man on Google Play. I downloaded it today, put it on my, got my Google Cardboard, put my Pixel phone into my Google, you know, the Google Cardboard?
Yeah.
Got it up here. Yeah. Literally cardboard. I tried it this morning. Trouble is, I can't really see much because of the glasses. And yeah, basically you're in the maze, and the ghosts are coming towards you. You've got to have your gyroscope on the phone for it to work. But I just ended up feeling car sick. I just got travel sick playing it.
VR will do that to you, mate.
Yeah, but playing Pac-Man in the maze made me feel a bit ill. It wasn't a very good version of it anyway. It's a long time since I've got my Google Cardboard down. But there you go. So that's that was just interesting, the fact that, you know, they're always looking to.
What did they use in '96? This is what I'm fascinated by.
Well, there were some early
massive helmets that you could put on. There was remember those? You'd sort of go into a cage with this huge helmet and a massive cable.
Well, it was the first sort of rendition and look at sort of VR in the sort of early '90s.
Yes.
And I remember when I was as a film student, a film director came and he wanted to make a pilot for like a mini trailer for a potential film based around VR and stuff like that. And it was about the time of Lawnmower Man came out as well a couple of years later. So they were just sort of beginning. I think it was the first iteration of sort of, just after the first iteration of VR and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just interesting that they iterate Pac-Man for VR.
Big news this week on Apple Glass as well, which is that apparently it's been leaked that for the last, I think, 3 years they've had 1,000 engineers working on it.
Wow!
And they've got 2 products coming out next year. I didn't actually watch the whole video, but well, you know, if they're putting money into it, it's going to be quite big. So it'd be interesting. The guy that leaked it said they're looking to go well beyond what anybody's done to date.
Will there be glasses?
Yeah, they literally. Well, I mean, who knows? It's purely speculation, obviously. But the mock-ups that I've seen have largely been like glasses. But then we know that Google Glass failed because socially people weren't prepared. To accept the fact that, you know, there you are, Clive, with what looked like normal, you know, very nice specs. But are you recording me at this moment in time? You know, what information are you being fed on me and all that kind of stuff?
It was ahead of its time, if honestly. Google would just. And the reason I read about it recently is because Google have just bought a startup that do smart glasses.
Okay.
So that's interesting in the light of what you said about Apple there, because I think it was last week Google purchased a startup that's been working on a sort of augmented reality virtual sort of glasses type thing. So they could be coming back. I don't think they've given up on it. I think they were just ahead of their time, as you say. The society wasn't quite ready for it.
Was it in last week's news we talked about Facebook working on, because of course they own Oculus, working on something again that looks much more like traditional glasses. They were
those sunglass things.
So, you know, if it had, as I said at the time, if you had that kind of polarized glass, that stuff that gets turned on and off by electricity, that'd be amazing. You'd have the darkness of VR and then flick it open and then you'd have your AR. That would be something else. Yeah. Oh, well, they're clearly, they still clearly see it as a potential future market somewhere. Yeah,
we just take the camera off and have, you know, information sort of projected, so it looks like you're looking at it 2 2 feet ahead, whatever.
Well, I always, years ago, I wrote about an idea that I called life cam at that time, which was that through your entire day, you would record everything and have it streamed to the cloud. And then
Yeah.
at night, you could go back and watch back any conversations you had, meetings you attended, maybe some
That
incident
is
that you
spooky.
yeah, and life cam. And I thought, you know, with the convergence of cloud technology and cheapness of hard drives, you could have it so that it stores your whole world for a week, and you'd
Yeah.
always be able to go, I want to keep that clip because I
Yeah.
didn't spot that happening at the time. And you know, I mean that be would be interesting, wouldn't it?
Could have get that bit now with dash cams and stuff like that, don't you?
Yes, of course, in cars. Imagine that if that was actually a fixed, so that everything you experienced in your entire day could be played back. How was your day today, my love? Well, sit down and I'll show you.
Just watch this.
Yeah, yeah. Put your feet up and
Play.
grab you a glass of
Yeah.
wine. It'll only take 8
Oh
hours.
no, not that bit. Oh, stop.
Yeah,
Stop,
oh,
pause.
no. That's no Mavis. There's nothing on me. I promise.
I can explain. Yeah. Moving on, news.
Yes. So wait, we've got another piece coming up.
Yeah, you have. You've got Sega's little.
Have we done your Forbes one?
Yeah, we've done
Oh,
that.
that was your Pac-Man. Yes,
That was the
Sega.
Pac-Man.
Yes. So
There we go. I saw this one. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, so Sega. I'm sorry, I'm just pulling it up so I can see it here. So yep, they've announced a miniature arcade cabinet. I think this is really cute.
Yeah,
and we've
look at
talked
it.
a few times in the past about these little emulators that are built into
Yeah.
kit. But I love the fact
Well,
that
they
this
did
is
the sorry, they did the little thing, didn't they? That thing
Yeah.
everyone was disappointed
the
about 3
anniversary.
weeks ago.
Well, I'm fairly certain this is the same tech.
Yeah.
It just happens to they just happen to have whacked it in something that looks more like a little arcade, but with a little joystick button and everything. And it's got 36 games in it. And again, interestingly enough, it's still part of their 60th anniversary
Wow.
celebrations. So they're milking this for all it's worth, that's for sure.
So you know the little Sega console, tiny Sega console, which was well expensive, wasn't it? 40 quid?
Yeah.
And we just thought, wow, that is well overpriced.
Yeah.
Seen the price of this console?
How much is it? I haven't seen it.
$118.
Oh yeah, look at that. So that's what, 100 quid?
Yeah, and you see that
Wow.
I've got there was a
on,
picture earlier I
Sega.
saw. You could sort of gauge the size of it. It's literally that big. I'm holding up camera. 108 for 8-bit type games.
Wow.
36 Sega titles. Fits in your hand. It says this miniature arcade cabinet fits in your hand, comes with 36 arcade titles. 118 quid. Got to be a hardcore Sega fan, haven't you?
Well, that's the thing is, I mean, I guess they're not making these things for profit, are they? Surely.
No, they sort of collector things.
I think they've got to be, haven't they?
Yeah.
And you've said it yourself. They're probably pandering to the Japanese audience anyway.
Some Japanese retro.
Yeah, because they love that whole arcade scene still, don't they, in Japan?
Yeah.
It's much massive in Japan compared to anywhere else. But you can hook it up via HDMI to your TV.
Yeah.
And have what would probably be the equivalent
streaming.
of 360 pixel resolution or something. So it's you certainly wouldn't get your money's worth out of that. 100 bleeding quid.
I know, it's crazy.
Mental. Anyway, if you want one, it's there. Fill your boots.
Yeah. Coming out in October.
Yeah.
So, and other news here for fans of Breath of the Wild, Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild 2, which is currently in production. So, a little article here that the voice actors. So there was this article. I've just reread this bit. It said that they had finished all their voice acting for Breath of the Wild. But it says here as an update. It's since been clarified that Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 voice actors were joking when they said they were almost finished recording the dialogue. What the actors said was taken out of context due to a lapse in translation. Oh, I should have got Yoshida on the job. Although she would have gotten shouting out, I'm a pervert, I'm a pervert, I'm a pervert in Japanese, which is exactly what she did to me. She's practicing, getting me to learn Japanese, teaching me a word, and unbeknownst to me, I was shouting out, I'm a pervert, I'm a pervert, I'm a pervert in Japanese. Only Holtz in the channel knew what I was saying, and he didn't say anything. So you're in the bad books, Holtz. You knew. You were just enjoying it.
Japanese,
Anyway,
Holt? I know
never
he speaks
trust
to
a
the
translator. So, yes. So apparently, earlier in the week it came out. The actors said they'd nearly finished all the voiceover work, and then it turns out they haven't, and there's still a long way to go. Because there was a sort of hope that it was closer than we thought. But it's such a big game. No.
Yeah, I've not played the first one.
Yeah, no, I haven't. But I know my daughter's got it on her Switch at her mum's house. So
everybody raves about it, don't they?
Yeah, well, I love a Zelda game. I mean, they're good.
Yeah, they say it's worth buying the Switch just for Zelda.
Yeah, well, I bought the GameCube specifically for Wind Waker, Zelda Wind Waker at the time, back in the day. Platinum Edition one, I've mentioned it before. It was nice. I have a nice Platinum controller, Platinum GameCube. Not real Platinum, just color. I'm not that rich. Jesus Christ. Solid Platinum, diamond encrusted PlayStation.
Yes.
Although I think I have seen one of those. That's a different story.
Okay.
Next one is, we're back to our favorites. So we were talking about Bungee.
I know. Well, this was interesting. I mean, I actually was aware of this story, not this particular interview, but the story of this director. There was a long-standing legal battle with this guy, Marty O'Donnell, who I think he wrote a lot of the original music. It was like a revered composer, and to be fair to him, it was amazing music.
It's great music,
yeah, it's amazing. And but he was unceremoniously fired, and anyway, he was having none of that. He did successfully sue them. He successfully sued them for lost shares because he was a director at the time, and I think he was owed a fair bit of back pay.
Board member and composer.
Wow. But he says in the article, first time ever that this has actually been said, that they kind of, it was 50-50 whether to go ahead with Activision. They were actually quite concerned that it would go the way it actually did go.
Yeah.
And there's a I haven't got the article in front of me. I can just about see it on the YouTube, but there's a quote in here that says something like, he was talking to the chief financial officer of Activision over dinner just before they closed on the deal, and somebody said to the CFO, "Of course, you wouldn't want to kill the golden goose."
Yes, it's be nice to the goose.
Be nice to the goose, because obviously he lays the golden eggs. And the CFO turns to him and says, "No, but occasionally it's nice to have a bit of foie gras."
Yes. Here's the quote. Yeah, be nice to the goose, with Bungee being the goose laying golden eggs for Activision, according to O'Donnell. The CFO told him that he liked the analogy, but sometimes there's nothing like a good foie gras. I get a chill even telling the story, says O'Donnell. The red flag went off.
Yeah, it wasn't a great deal. And he goes on to say that, the reason they went with Activision was they were the only partner that were prepared to allow Bungee to keep their IP. And they'd even talked to Microsoft about potentially coming back to the fold. And they would have done a deal with Microsoft, but they insisted that they own or had part ownership.
So like a Halo type thing.
Yeah. They weren't for that. They felt they had their fingers burned with Halo on Microsoft. But it turns out, again, reading between the lines here, it's that it didn't make a lot of difference in the end. Activision actually had a huge amount of control, as if they own the IP.
Yeah.
Based on the fact that they were able to manipulate some of the board members that just didn't have the spine to stick up to them. So one day it's going to make a fascinating book. Because I think a lot happened there. But this is the first time that we've seen anybody actually break ranks and say that it was a stinky deal.
They, of course, they were under pressure just to churn out sequels, as we know now, and it's never their plan. Their plan was just to develop out the game, add more content, build it, which I quite like that approach.
Yeah.
You always upgrade stuff all the time in the background.
Yeah, and he also says right at the very end of the article, Clive, because I don't know if you recall, but Bungee I think they got 100 million from a Chinese mobile gaming company. It wasn't Tencent. It was
Not Tencent.
Yeah, it wasn't Tencent.
They
funny
probably
enough.
own it.
Probably involved with Tencent, but he does say later in the article it's actually more of a kind of comedic, funny kind of game. It's nothing like what they've done before, which is quite interesting because again, that's the first
Yeah.
ever I've heard of this title they've been working on.
Okay, yeah. The studio's new IP apparently will be comedic and feature whimsical characters, according to a job listing. Very interesting. Okay, that's your Bungee that's your Bungee news for the week.
Weekly Bungee news.
Yeah, your weekly Bungee news. You've had your Pac-Man news, had your Bungee news. Next up, Warner Brothers, of course. Warner Brothers Gaming. There's been speculation around that. We know that AT&T, who own Warner Brothers, are planning to sell off Warner Brothers, the games division, which has it says here, notably the Batman Arkham series and other such titles. And so there's been speculation about, any big publishers going to come and get them. And the word on the street, according to a report from The Information, it says here, Microsoft has expressed interest in purchasing the games division of Warner Brothers, likely to bolster its Xbox lineup ahead of a next gen.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. It says here, the anonymous source spoke with The Information, confirmed that other financial suitors include Take-Two Interactive, EA, and Activision Blizzard. No transaction has been confirmed between A&T and any of the potential buyers, but the company is actively fielding advice from Liontree Bank, so they're running the sale, on how to approach a concrete deal. So if Microsoft comes out on top, it says here, its acquisition of Warner Brothers game division will provide it with a variety of reputable intellectual properties, including Batman and Harry Potter. So do you think they'd make those exclusive to Xbox?
Yes.
Yeah, it would make sense.
Why else would they buy it? I mean, the only thing
quite a bold thing, though, isn't it? Take big loved IPs and go, nope. But then Sony has Spider-Man.
How long have they got the licenses for? They won't be in perpetuity. So, I don't know.
They might have on Potter.
Do you think so?
Yeah, they paid J.K. Rowling like 250 million quid in advance. Back in the day, that was.
Of course, Warner Brothers produced the films, so the relationship was there.
Yeah.
It was a fairly easy.
Yeah, so they just siphoned off the rights to that department. Yeah.
Yes, that makes sense. $154 billion in debt. Yeah, that's a significant gearing. That is.
Yeah, this is AT&T's debt.
AT&T, yes, of course, absolutely. I mean, we assume Warner Brothers is a profitable division. What's interesting is that the other, I mean, it says potential suitors, and to be fair, they could have put any list of names there. But if I was Warner Brothers, which I'm going to assume, put my neck out and say it's actually a fairly creative studio.
Yeah.
I'd be looking at Take-Two, EA, and Activision, and I'd be pooing myself. I think I'd much rather go with Microsoft. I think just my feeling is their reputation is probably a little bit more of a friendly outfit.
Yeah, but you might narrow down your potential in terms of sales if they just make it exclusive.
Yeah, in terms of those titles.
Yeah, well, I mean, they might be stripped. So assets stripped. If it goes to EA, they'll just take the IP and farm them out to their studios around the world. Same with Take-Two. That you saw Zelnick and the way he talks. They'll just farm out the IP. So Warner Brothers is a sort of gaming won't exist. They'll just swallow up the IP.
They could even license them back out to any of the other developers or any of the other studios in any case.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting because I think, you were saying about limiting the marketplace, but for me right now, with what Microsoft are doing with essentially we'll get to a point shortly where you can play any Xbox title on a PC.
Yeah.
Then you pretty much have most of the market, because PlayStation, I believe, will dwindle in time with the advent of cloud and the fact that I can go and play on pretty much any device. Once xCloud comes to the fore with full 1080 to 4K on any machine and any of those titles, it's a no-brainer for me.
Yeah.
In terms of what volume of games and value of games they have. So in actuality, to start buying titles now for exclusivity for those platforms makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see it from Microsoft's point of view. That makes sense.
Yeah, I think so. Who knows? I mean, I'm assuming most of this is all speculation.
Speculation at the moment. It's just that, the word is that they've approached these advisors. So,
okay,
they could just be sniffing around or considering it.
That's not the same. That's not Zelnick's outfit, is it? Lion?
No.
No. Yeah. Very interesting, Clive. One to watch.
Yeah, definitely.
Very interesting.
Next up, ladies and gentlemen, Ubisoft Forward's coming up.
Yes, it's coming up on the 12th, which is what's that?
Sunday.
This Sunday, and this is what I was very interested in. There's going to be split into two, so there's going to be a kind of pre-show, and then the actual show itself. And the bit that got me excited was that if we watch the pre-show, which is an hour long, 7 p.m. UK time, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern.
Look around you. Everyone has a reason.
Well, actually, all you have to do is log into your Ubisoft account, and by logging in during that 7 until 8 p.m. time, you get a free copy of Watch Dogs 2 to your PC account, which I think is absolutely. I love
Good
Watch
incentive.
Dogs. Yeah. I mean, it gets you watching, I guess. It also allows them to monitor who's watching. But they also say there'll be other rewards and bits and pieces as well. So definitely one to watch. And then, of course, the main show is where they're going to announce some, no doubt, very interesting new IPs and new game rollouts. And one would hope, potentially, well, there won't be Uplay Plus with Stadia because Google will absolutely want to control that. So they're not going to be announcing that on the 12th.
No. So do you have to watch it on Twitch?
That's a good question. All I know is that between 7 and 8 p.m. UK time, you just have to log into a Ubisoft account and it will go in automatically into your account. So you don't even necessarily need to watch, from what I understand. Logging into a Uplay account any point between the pre-show and the end of the main conference, so it's actually 9 p.m., will allow you to redeem a free PC copy of the excellent Watch Dogs 2. You'll also be able to answer trivia questions to unlock rewards in various unspecified Ubisoft games. So I guess cosmetics and bits and pieces.
I see. So you just have to be logged into your Uplay account during those period of time.
Yes. There's no mention that there will be some connection between something that someone says on the show or a URL or anything. You just have to have it. I mean, I won't be watching it anyway.
Yeah.
But it's the certainly what it states here is you just have to log into your Uplay account, and the fact that you've logged in between 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. will get you a free copy of Watch Dogs 2, which incidentally is, I just noticed earlier, is a new game on PlayStation Now, which is their substandard cloud platform this month. So it's obviously being used as an inducement all over the place right now.
It would make sense if because they got everybody to link their Uplay account with Twitch, that they got you to watch it on Twitch, because then it gets people to sort of link the account with Twitch, which is what they want to do with Hyperscape.
They just say,
but it just says log in. You're right.
Uplay. It doesn't state where it doesn't even state where that show will be visible, which is all good, all very good. So, and of course, it probably also means that one of the big announcements on the night will be when Watch Dogs Legions finally gets released, which everybody's waiting for. That's going to be an amazing game. I think it's got lost in the whole cyberpunk show. But actually, it looks an amazing game of a similar scale. So that one I'm very excited for. And I imagine they're going to make an announcement along the lines of it coming in maybe September.
Yeah.
So we'll look out for that. But that's one to look for on Sunday evening after you've watched Songs of Praise.
Exactly. Trackmania gameplay, news on Ghost Recon, new Just Dance 2020 details, people, and a deep dive into an Easter egg in Division 2. The main show an hour later. Assassin's Creed, Watchdog, Hyperscape, and a few surprises. Many are hoping to see Far Cry 6 and a new Splinter Cell game. Okay.
Maybe some more footage of Assassin's Creed Valhalla as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think they'll definitely show some of that.
Good one.
And
2 days later for the Stadia Connect, so it's going to be great.
Yeah.
A great.
Where's the Stadia logo? There's no Stadia logo. This is rubbish. Stadia's rubbish. No logo.
You know what we need to do, Clive? We need to restream this stuff when it's on and just slip a little Stadia logo down the bottom to keep people happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Well, that's the news, ladies and gentlemen. Let's know what you think in the chat and all of that kind of stuff as we move smoothly on to on this day in gaming history. Now, it's only from 5 years ago, so not that back in history, but I just think it's interesting because it is it's still a really, really popular game, one of the most popular esports games, has broad appeal, and it was released on this day in 2015, and it is, of course, the suspense is killing me, everybody. Literally.
Your suspenders are killing me, darling.
They are. These suspenders are killing me. Oh, uncomfortable sitting here. Rocket League was released 5 years ago today. And I played Rocket League quite a bit. I mean, not quite a bit, a few times. It's a fun game. But yeah, 2015. Rocket League. Have you ever played Rocket League?
Surprised that it's 2015. It feels like it's been around longer than that.
Yeah. It does.
It was given, I think it was given away free on PlayStation at one point.
Okay.
And so it got fairly early on as well. So it got a huge lift.
Yeah.
The old Philip, as they say.
I think it was PC, PlayStation first.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's what it was.
Yeah, I think it was free, and I don't know that it isn't now, but it was. Yeah. So it was massive take up, and I mean, if toy model cars and football's your thing, what more could you possibly want in life? But the physics are great. The physics are great.
Yeah.
It's good fun. It's the kind of thing you look at it now and you think you could do that in Crater. But
well, may I just say, Bop It League in Crater.
Yeah.
Recommended. It's football with circular saws and guns.
See, I've heard people talking about Bop It League.
Yeah, Bop It League.
I didn't realize it was in Crater.
Check out Bop It League. Yes, I think it's by one of the Daves.
Is it one of our Daves?
It's one of our Daves.
God, blimey. I tell you,
yeah. And he's added, I said he should put mines in there.
They're not going to want to know us all soon. This, don't you? All these, they're all becoming stars and legends of Crater.
It's going to be snapped up by some big developer. Yeah.
They're not going to want to know.
I'm putting in a quirky thing here. Not that anybody will remember it, but just because I like its style. This 2 was released. The sequel was released. I'm not sure anybody will get this.
Love. Let's take it off, don't you?
Ready? Go! Ready?
get translating.
Anybody can. I just love that whole crazy Japanese sort of combination of a crazy Japanese game show and the sort of party game style. It's Bishi Bashi. Bishi Bashi was the game. That too was released, 99.
Wow.
In Japan on this day. Bishi Bashi. Now, I have a bonus game as well, which nobody would have heard of. All right? Now, fair warning, if there are any youngsters in the room,
it's been nice to know you, chat.
Maybe suggest they don't look at the screen now. Just language. That's what I'm talking about here. In my deep dive into the archive about games that may have been released on this day in history, I came across this profanity warning coming up. Here we go. I don't know if you can see here. There's not many. The title of the game is. I wish I had my voice box, so I'll bleep on it now, but I haven't got it here. But it's basically beep space. Yeah. I'd never heard this game.
No.
It's
what
just
would you like
called...
for Christmas, little Jimmy? Well, now.
Yeah, I've got. Yeah, is this the game you want, little Jimmy? I wasn't sure in the shop. I asked for fudge space. I got you this. Unwraps it. Oh, brilliant! Fuck space, my favorite. Grandma.
Oh no! It's a whole other episode of Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah.
Who are coming back, by the way? They've remade Beavis and Butthead.
Are they?
They've new episodes coming soon.
So I read the description of Beep Space.
Late, you've already said it. You can't
Fuck
pretend
space.
you didn't say
They,
it, mate.
They said the chances are 10 trillion to 1. It seemed like something that only happened to other people, but then it happened to you. Your girlfriend was killed by a deadly hunk of speeding space rock, drawn by gravity to crush her, much like she drew you into her heart. Now you have vowed to exact your revenge on space by redesigning your car so that it can take to the void and shoot lasers. You prepare to take on the whole of space. Put your car in revenge. Fuck Space is a simple overhead shooter where you control your craft's movements with the directional arrows and shoot with Z. Of course you do. Your goal is to destroy as many space denizens as possible, be they small planets, alien cruisers, or giant skulls.
It's definitely one of those lost in translation titles, isn't it?
This is not a Japanese game. This is by Cactus Games.
Where have they come from?
We've talked about them before.
Have we? Are they from like Utah or something? Like
probably. It's good call. Yeah, some these random names, like Acclaim Software back in the day and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Anyway, that I forget when that was released, but it just popped up in my search. Don't ask why. In my, don't know what. Yeah, my algorithm. I tell you, my algorithms are absolutely fucked as well now.
Oh dear.
That with that and reinforced PVC reinforced leather. I'm gonna have the funny police come round. Now, just for context, people, I'm thinking of buying a gaming chair, and I noticed that it said it featured reinforced PVC leather. So I put it into Google to find out what that actually meant. And now I regret that because straight away in the algorithms popped up you PVC, leather PVC onesies and outfits, tight outfits.
Oh dear.
Can't scrape that stuff away now.
He was that close to the next game.
Anyway, let's move on, ladies and gentlemen, to our favourite part of the show, I think, and I hope one of your favourite parts of the show is the Generation X game. Oh, did they do well? Did they do well? Hello. Yes, it's time for the Generation X game. Now, I'm going to kick off this week, ladies and gentlemen. My 64K of memory, as we alternatively call it, this week is a game that was on the original Xbox and I think PlayStation 2, if I remember rightly as well. But I played it on the original Xbox and I really enjoyed it. And I think it's one of the first examples of a sort of sandbox game where you go around doing missions, but you don't have to follow a sort of direct storyline. Skip the ads. Oh, PVC leather. No. And it's called Mercenaries Playground of Destruction. And it was partly developed by LucasArts.
Hang on, a Pandemic Studios game?
Yeah.
That's all a bit spooky dooky.
Yeah. So it's sort of set in a North Korea. I don't have the baby voice changer now, Yoshida. Yeah, so it's set in a sort of a North Korea that's going through a kind of a Berlin post the World War II type phase where the Allies have one part of it, Russia have another part of it, and stuff like that. And your job is to go around, do basically as a mercenary, do different missions for different sort of parts of the North Korea and earn money and stuff.
North Korean military forces have staged a violent coup.
But it had a good sort of story to it and stuff like that. And you're sort of dropped into this sort of North Korea. And as I say, it's one of the first examples I seem to remember where a bit like an Assassin's Creed or a Division 2 type thing where, you've got an open world. It's not a massive open world, obviously. It's quite a small open world. But you just sort of travel around it, interact with characters who then give you a mission to go and do. You go and do that mission, earn some money as a mercenary, then go to, the opposition forces, do another mission for them and stuff like that. So I really kind of enjoyed it as a game partly for that, because it seemed quite advanced at the time. But now we see lots of games like that have that sort of sandbox appeal to it, or gameplay where you go around doing lots of different missions. But anyway, so let's just stop this a minute and I'm going to give some history on it. Here we are.
I like the look of this.
Yeah, it was a good game. And actually, that clip I showed you was upgraded clip in 4K. They've republished it for the Xbox One X. It's the original game, but they've just polished the graphics. So it still has that sort of slight blocky square feel to it, but just the graphics just look a bit better, shiny and cleaner. Mercenaries Playground is an action-adventure video game developed by Pandemic Studios, published by LucasArts for PlayStation 2 and Xbox. It features an open-world environment with elements of potential stealth gaming, reputation-based social mechanics, and is set during fictitious multinational military action in North Korea circa 2007. That's happened. The player takes control of one of 3 mercenary characters, completes contracts in the war-torn country for profit and to prevent nuclear war. Critics gave favorable reviews to the game, in particular praising its focus on explosive mayhem. And I thought it was a really good game. Unfortunately, Pandemic Studios closed. Project was given to a group called Danger Close Games, who developed a sequel, but it got cancelled in the end. And then the closure of Danger Close Games happened soon after that. So it's a shame, because it was a good open world sandbox game going around doing lots of different adventures. So there we go. Mercenaries Playgrounds of Destruction is my game of choice today.
Very good. I like the look of that. I wouldn't mind playing that.
Yes, it's good. It was fun. I remember enjoying
it.
I didn't realize at the time, though, sort of how maybe there were other games like it, but I didn't recall. Was ahead of its time. Whereas now we play so many games like Division 2 where you just go around, do different missions and progress, but there's no necessarily a linear storyline that's very narrow and drives you through it. You can just go off and do lots of side missions and stuff.
No, really good. Very
okay,
good.
now you've gone for a classic here.
I've gone for one of the classics, no doubt whatsoever.
Oh, I think I've gone.
You've gone
here
for
it is.
Wikipedia first, have you? You want above the one above there? You want that one?
I've gone for the wiki.
Yeah.
Here it is. Manic Miner. Go on, take it away.
Oh, Manic Miner. The thing is, I never actually had a Spectrum. I had a ZX81, but this was very much Spectrum territory. But my little brother-in-law at the time, probably was about 8. He had one, and he had all the games, Manic Miner and Horace Jet Set Willie and all that stuff.
Yeah, Jet Set Willie.
Great stuff. And I used to go around to pick up the old girlfriend, the now Mrs. Rokk. And of course, I would just sideline a bit off to watch the old ZX Spectrum. We get stuck into a bit of Manic Miner, and great game. I mean, absolutely fantastic game. 1983, I think it was, written by a guy called Matthew Smith, who's a bit of a legend in these parts when it comes to game development. He also did Jet Set Willie as well, published by Bug Bite.
Miner Willie.
Hey, Jet Set Willie. Who said Miner Willie? Did I? Willie or Miner Willie?
Says,
I don't know, mate.
Yeah, no, I know Jet Set Willie, but it says here in his first game, Miner Willie.
Oh, right.
You can tell he was a bit mature.
It does say that. You're absolutely right.
Miner Willie.
Yeah,
grow up.
Clearly has a
grow up, audience.
Oh dear, but it's that it's that bit everybody remembers, Hall of the Mountain King by Grieg, and it sounds awful when you hear it today, but when you played it back in those days, it was in your head forever. You could never get it out of your head.
So see, on the Spectrum, this is the first game with in-game music.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The playing of which required constant CPU attention and was thought impossible.
Well, because he also managed at the same time to get all the little sounds going in the game as well.
Yeah.
You didn't, I mean, so it had to happen in like really precise times to break in with the audio. It was it really, you look at it now and you think, what a piece of tat. But actually,
no, this is legendary. Yeah.
Groundbreaking. Yeah. And
it had that sort of platform Donkey Kong type style to it.
Yeah, it's so iconic. I mean, this guy, what's his name? Matthew Smith. Apparently, he left England for the Netherlands at some point, but came back and still involved in game development. Did something back in 2013 with Elite, but he turns up at all the conventions. Everybody, he's a legend. You know, I mean, he's dining out on that early stuff.
Manic Miner was placed number 25 in your Sinclair official top 100 Spectrum games of all time, and was voted number 6 in the Reader's top 10 100 games of all time in the same issue. Obviously, a Sinclair magazine, whatever. But
of course, Sinclair.
It was the winner of a golden joystick for best arcade style game in the Computer and Video Games 1983 edition, and placed 3rd in Game of the Year in 1983 of the same competition.
97 of the 500 best games of all time list.
Wow.
I wonder what number 1 was in that Sinclair edition then. I mean, it'd be interesting
Monster
to
Maze.
find out. Yeah, exactly. But good old Manic Miner. I mean, that's a classic, and it's in anybody that was around in those days. It's always going to be close to your heart, I think.
Yeah, that and Jet Set Willie. Here we are. Your Sinclair top 100.
Yeah.
Since you wanted to know.
Yeah.
It's a little treat for the audience here, retro treat. See if we recognize that. Mind Out. Train Game. Wow. RoboCop. What?
Yeah, I remember RoboCop. It was actually quite good graphically.
Avalon. Bounder. Wheelie. Codename Matt. Football Manager. Football Manager.
What, the Football Manager?
or the game that etched the face of a fat, bearded old man called Kevin on the minds of 100,000 Spectrum owners forever.
Poor old Kevin.
Poor old Kevin. Sir Lancelot. Attic Attack. Oh, that rings a bell.
Attic Attack, yes.
Okay. We'll keep going through.
Yep.
Wriggler Pang. Don't know that. Hijack. Frankie Goes to Hollywood.
What?
Yes. I think I remember that. Frankie Goes to Hollywood. Not, obviously, I remember the band. I went to see them twice. Little tidbit. Hammersmith and Birmingham. Yeah.
They have a great band.
They were good live. But that's not it. But I remember the game, Frankie Goes to Hollywood.
I'm baffled as to what would have been in the game. And there goes.
Remember
Hollywood.
Frankie, the most controversial band in the 80s? Parents said they were the classic example of a Catholic education gone wrong. But didn't the kids just love them? Ocean stunned everyone, first by buying the license. What? And then by resisting the temptation to cobble together a quick rip-off platform game. Instead, they presented us with one of the most insidiously charming and bizarre games they'd ever released.
Wow.
Only a bug which prevents it from being completed properly. Get this one. It's reconnecting.
Don't disconnect.
So it's reconnected.
Frankie the computer game. Ocean.
Right, let's get to... God, whiz through the... Tetris up there. We're curious now. I'm curious. Talk among yourselves as I whiz through the different... Yeah. This website was obviously designed by somebody in 96. So old school.
To coincide with the release of the Sinclair Top 100.
Exactly. Probably this website was designed on a Spectrum.
Oh dear.
Right. Part 5. Oh, we're at 1. Death Chase.
Death Chase?
Death Chase. Death Chase. Does anybody remember Death Chase? No apologies, no regrets. Yes, Spec Chums. Who writes this, Tosh? I've been playing computer games for as long as computers have existed. I've played thousands of them, from coin-up games to ZX81s to Apple Mac games. The simple fact of the matter is there isn't one in existence as exciting, as gripping, as tense, or as downright thrilling as this. Written in 1982, just 9K of memory, Death Chase puts you on a motorbike in a forest with no purpose in life other than to chase other characters on a motorbike and kill them for a bounty. Your enemies don't shoot back at you. There are no power-ups. What? This is it.
It just runs through sticks with green at the top.
Yeah, chasing down people. It's not selling it to me. It's not selling it to me. If I'm honest.
Own shares.
Yeah. Right. So it's voting time, ladies and gentlemen. Manic Miner or Mercenaries. I can't put in M because you're Manic Miner.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
MM or M.
Yeah. No, but the people, that's confusing. We need a simpler. Okay. Number 1 for me.
C or R. C or R.
C or R. Go. Put C or R. C for Mercenaries, Playground of Destruction.
David does MM.
R, Manic Miner.
MM will count, David. I'll count that one.
Old school. The old schooler.
You can't. How can you look? Manic Miners. It's there, mate. It's godlike. That Daz, I tell you what, I'm having a word with him Friday. He always backs you. I don't even think he watches the game. He just puts you down straight away.
It's quality.
Good.
What we got? Count up the votes. I'm just doing something here. What? It's landslide. Old schoolers. God. Got to get a younger. Yeah. There's no hope for me. She always says to me it feels bad if she votes against me. I said she should. But no, I said that's fine. No.
I don't think it's fair. You vote for him because you feel sorry for him because he's older than me. Yeah, not fair.
We are your conscience. You may be voting for the wrong game. Oh dear. Right. You win it, you win it, you win it. I've told you, I've called it, man. You've called it. Rokk gets it. Can't hear the Rokk. Say something. I swapped the mics around. It's yeah.
You call those sign language.
Say something.
Hello.
There we are. You should be able to hear him.
Yeah, of course they can hear me, mate.
Yeah.
I think he's
Anyway,
web.
it's wiggly waggling on my OBS there, as they say.
It don't matter none. There you go, Rokk wins. Woo-hoo!
Yeah, Rokk wins. Well done, everybody.
It was a draw last week, wasn't it? So I've no edge to hold.
Well done. Well done. We bowed down.
Yes. Perfect. Thank you very much.
All right. Don't get carried away. Jesus Christ.
I did. David said, did I just sign pervert? It was so
yeah. Okay. So that's it. Now, I've got one more bonus for you guys. You're going to love this. This is to say farewell. Last week, many of you probably thought that I'd been smoking the wacky backy, or I've drunk one too many of those crazy nootropic energy drinks or something. When I talked about K-Dog and the K-Dog rule. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
K-Dog rule. Well, I found the documentary that I was talking about. And I just want to share the end bit here just to prove to you that I wasn't, in fact, completely mad. Let's go large. So here, you'll see here. Rising up to the challenge of a So I got the story slightly wrong. What happened in the semi-final or final of the World Championships when he went to Las Vegas, this guy from Nuneaton or Leicester, wherever it was, who had to get the guy who ran the arcade, the Mega Bowl arcade, to open up just for him. And he paid for himself to go to Las Vegas and everything, is that the guy, he beat the guy in the semi-finals or the finals, yeah? But the guy he beat, the American guy, said, the machine didn't register one of my footsteps. So I want that round null and void, and we do it again. And, you know, there was a big sort of discussion about whether that's in the rules or not. And they caved into the pressure from the Americans. This poor guy who's traveled all the way on his own money. He didn't have much money. He's unemployed, traveled all the way to Las Vegas. this English guy, a bit of an outsider, and they decided, okay, they will rerun it because the American claimed that one of his foot presses wasn't recognized on the Dance Dance Revolution. And they rerun it, and the second time round, he lost. The English guy lost, and the other guy went through to the final. So after that, after the tournament, and it says here, after the pad miss controversy in Las Vegas, the referee passed a new rule. Rematches will only be permitted if machine error could be proved beyond doubt. So the machine said that there was no error, but the American guy said, no, definitely, I hit the pad and it didn't register. Yeah. And they accepted his word for it. And that rule, it will be known as the K-Dog rule. There you go.
Yeah, an update. Well, whatever happened to K-Dog?
I don't know. This was a long time ago, this documentary. Curious. But there you go. Just I found that. I thought I'd share it last week. The K-Dog rule stuck in my head all those years ago.
He was done in by a wrong-un.
A wrong-un, yeah. Just bad luck. Bad luck against him and the whole of the American Dance Dance Revolution community.
Yeah.
But there you go. Damn Yankees. Yeah. Anyway, that's it. I've had a good show today. Rokk, have you had a good show?
Oh, a cracking show, mate, as always.
Good. Chat, have you had a good show? I hope you have. I hope you've enjoyed it. Another great show, if we do say so ourselves. So on that note, it's finally a goodbye from me.
And a goodbye from him.
Goodbye, Generation X fans.
Get your
Thank
X's
you
up.
and goodbye.